And like they canceled my flight earliest. My flight was at 8:05. Then I had a standby flight, but it's like ain't no point in me doing no standby because if I do a standby, if I check my bag in right, that means my bag gonna be trapped in Denver, and that's more of a hassle to get your bag. And then it's just too much, man. So I'm just gonna cancel get my refund. I'm getting refunded, and then the hotel probably gonna charge me, but I can get it. I'm gonna try to get a refund with that, but it kind of sucks. I was looking forward to going to Denver. I guess I have to come to Denver next time, bro. That hurt, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, man, I'm looking forward to this shit, man. Like, get out of here. Yeah, but it's like I was really looking forward to coming to Denver, bro. Like I was talking about this shit for like 2 months, but it's like it's too much of a hassle. I don't like waiting at airports all day. Like it was just on some leisure. But I guess I have to catch Denver next time, man. This shit sucks though, but I'm still in Atlanta.
People are losing it after so.
No, I know the feeling. You plan something for 2 months, right? And you talk about it, you pack, you get to the airport, and then the screen says cancel. Man, it's a nightmare. Now, here is the part that gets me. He's getting a refund, okay? But the hotel might still charge him, and that happened to me actually. And the standby is not really an option because his bag is going to get stuck in Denver, and now he has to deal with that too. So you get your money back for the flight, but you lose the trip, and then they hand you a refund that you keep for your next. But let me be fair. Flights get cancelled, weather happens, mechanical issues happens. It's part of the process, right? Nobody expects perfection. But this is not just one guy having a bad day at the airport, right? This is happening everywhere. Delta just canceled I think 500 flights, and Spirit Airlines also shut down completely after 34 years of working, right? And 17,000 people lost their jobs. It's not enough just to have the AI layoffs. Now you have on airlines, it's a mess. You have also JetBlue struggling, and behind all of this, it's a bigger story than just bad luck. So let's get into this, and let me know in the comments, have this happened to you before?
Hundreds of flights, and it's not just because of the weather. The airline has scrapped around 500 flights since Friday. That's far more than American and United combined. And in some cases, flights were canceled just hours before boarding. So what's going on? An insider memo obtained by Business Insider's Taylor Raines and Haley Peterson points to a major staffing issue. Fewer pilots are picking up extra shifts. The acceptance rate for those trips has dropped from 37% to only 2% in a year. That's making it much harder to fill last-minute gaps. To keep flights running, Delta is relying on a backup system called 23M7, but that system was never meant for daily use. Now it's being used up to 15 times more than last year, and it can actually create new scheduling problems while trying to fix others. The result? Staffing-related cancellations are now 10 times more frequent than normal. They make up over a third of Delta's cancellations, a huge jump from last year.
Yeah.
Delta says this isn't the level of reliability it aims for. The airline is now hiring more pilots and increasing reserves to ease the pressure. But for travelers, the disruption is already here. If your flight gets canceled, Delta says it will rebook you at no extra cost, and you may be eligible for compensation. For more on what's behind the cancellations, read Taylor Raines and Haley Peterson's story.
Yeah, and that's the big thing about it, right? Like
Okay, so let's talk about these numbers a little bit, because it's not just about the weather. It starts being something much deeper, okay? So they cancel like 500 flights since Friday, and that is much more than American and United combined. So some of those flights, they were canceled just hours before boarding. So imagine you are at the gate, you are ready to go, and then it's canceled, right? Now, I heard that Delta is saying, they say that they are hiring more pilots, they say they are increasing reserves, they say that this is not the level of reliability they aim for, but I do believe them, but nobody wants to cancel their own flights, that's for sure. But the number that should get your attention is that the acceptance rate for the pilots picking up the extra tips, right? The extra trips dropped from 37% to 2% in 1 year. So 37 to 2. And that is not a small dip. That is pilots saying, I'm done taking extra work, and whatever the reason is, they are not volunteering, right? And because of that, Delta is relying on a backup scheduling system that was never designed for daily use. It is being used like 15 times more than last year, and that creates huge problems while trying to fix the old ones. So that is not just a Delta problem, that is an industry pattern that needs to be fixed. Look, I just want to say something, which is I'm not saying that every airline is going to collapse. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the budget options are disappearing, and the working class is losing access to traveling. And when the working class lose access, flying stops being about transportation and starts being a luxury. And I think this is what they want. I think this is what the elites want, okay?
Get your flights off now. You know, as bad as COVID was, one thing that it did make cheap was travel. JetBlue on its way out of business, and we just seen Spirit get shut down after 34 years. Spirit was one of the only companies keeping checks and balances as far as prices of airfare go.
Yeah.
You saw United implement basic economy to give people the opportunity to fly relatively inexpensively. Over the next 6 months, year, et cetera, we're about to see the prices of flights, I think, I don't want to say dramatically or drastically increase, but they're definitely not going to be as cheap as they were.
Yeah.
So start booking them flights. Get your afterpays, your zips, your PayPal paying for is ready, and y'all try to enjoy this next year or so before it get real wicked out here.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, Spirit was not the airline for business travelers. Spirit was the airline for normal people, right? The family visiting a relative, the friend going to a wedding, the person who just needs to get from one city to another without spending a full paycheck, right? When Spirit existed, the big airlines had to compete. They had to offer basic economy. They had to keep some prices somewhere near reasonable, because Spirit was sitting right there, ready to take the customer who said, look, I just need a seat, not a meal, not a movie. That was great, but now Spirit is gone. JetBlue is not in a good place, and what we are hearing from people is book your flight now. Prepare your PayPal, just get it. It's like people need to get finance for a plane ticket, right? Think about that. We are at a point in the economy where people need to financing some domestic flights. That is crazy.
Guys.
Okay, breaking news. Y'all are now telling me that Delta Airlines is now mysteriously canceling hundreds of flights nationwide. They're citing that crew restrictions is the reason for the disruptions. And this is just on the cusp of Spirit Airlines shutting completely down. Okay, baby, what is happening? Okay, the uncertainty of the U.S. Travel system is beyond me at this point. Okay, we kind of could kind of understand. We know Spirit Airlines have been struggling for a while. We can kind of understand.
Yeah.
Okay, Spirit was struggling financially. Then the war happened. Okay, 1 + 1. But what is y'all trying to do? Yeah. They're trying to shut it down, y'all. They're trying to shut it down. Ooh, they're trying to shut it down. I can't go into detail like I want to. Those who get it, get it. Those who know what I'm saying, when I say shut it down, y'all know. Baby, what? At first, when they was saying, Spirit Airlines just completely stopped, I'm like, did the other people have flights? Because I would be raising all kind of hell, but that's neither here nor there. But I felt like that was very symbolic in the spirit, okay? Because we know that Spirit Airlines, they you rarely was hearing any of their airplanes going down or anything. Mm-hmm. I felt like it was literally symbolic saying, I'm shutting down the spirit. Okay, I'm playing, but I'm not. It's symbolic. Like, I be too deep. I know y'all be thinking I'm too deep. Like, the spirit gone. I'm gone. I'm coming. That's what it was given. That's what it was given for me. Those who know, those who follow the word of God, you get what I'm saying. Because when did y'all know that y'all about to cancel hundreds of flights? I got a flight this coming weekend. Stop playing with me. I have a flight. Stop playing. Baby, they know what's coming. They're trying to keep us at bay. I got to use code words. They're keeping us at bay because they know what's coming. They know what is coming, so they have to. They're setting it up. Please catch it. They're setting it up to keep us at Jesus. The Bible speaks of a unity. I'm using keywords. A unity of one, catch it, one unity. It has the word world in it. The Bible speaks of that. They are prepping for it. My God, today. They are prepping for it. It is here. And if the saints and the ain'ts don't see, because even the ain'ts, y'all got to see this. The ain'ts got to see it. Baby, I'm frazzled. Who next? American Airlines? Who next?
Well, these are some of the reactions of what people.
Well, all right. Let's take a step back for a second and look at all of this. So people are worried. I get it. And when you see Delta canceling hundreds of flights and Spirit shutting down and JetBlue struggling, of course, it's natural to ask what's next, right? And it's natural to feel like something bigger is happening here. I'm not here to tell anybody that the fears are wrong, and also drop me in the comments what you think about the situation. But I'm here to look at the numbers and what they show us. And point one is that the staffing across the entire industry is stretched. It's not just Delta, it's just one airline. When pilots stop picking up extra shifts at the rate that you used to, right, that affects every carrier. It just leads on the staffing, and most of them just run lean. Point two is that consolidation is real. Spirit is gone. JetBlue tried to merge with Spirit. It was blocked. I'm not going to say why, but instead of one strong airline, now we got two weak ones. That's not a conspiracy. That's market outcome. Fewer airlines means less competition. Less competition means less pressure to keep prices down. It's worse for us, but it is what it is. Point three, fuel costs. They're not coming down fast. Gas is like $4.51. For regular, jet fuel is its own market. It's completely different, but it moves with the same force, right? When fuel is expensive, tickets are expensive. It is what it is. It's that simple. So where does that leaves for the normal person, right? The person who just wants to fly home for Christmas, for example. A person who just save up to have a nice time with their family somewhere, right? The question is not wherever flights are getting cancelled today. The question is wherever normal people will be able to afford to fly at all in a couple of years. Because the way this is going to be a luxury. There's no doubt about that, because if the budget airlines disappear and the big airlines are struggling with staffing and fuel costs, everything is going to stay very high. And flying stops being available for everybody. It becomes something that you probably need to have to finance. It becomes so expensive that you have to save for it. And something that feels like less transportation and more like a purchase, a major factor in your decisions that you need to think twice in the future. And that's the bigger picture. Not one airline, not 1 week of cancellations, but the full industry that is slowing pricing the people who need it the most out of the market. They're not giving you any chance. So let me know in the comments. Have you had a flight cancel recently? Are you thinking twice before booking some or your next trip? Where are you planning to go? Let me know in the comments. I really want to know so that I can have a feeling from everyone and how they are dealing with the situation.